This is going to be day 3 of our program. For those of you that are on our 5-day program, this will be your 3rd day of the week. For those of you that are on our 3-day program, this won't be a day that you end up seeing because this will be our big Saturday normally. Today is going to be our 2nd snatch day of the week. It's going to be a little bit of a lower percentage because it's a little bit more of a technical lift with top-down snatches. It's going to be 3 rounds, same as it has been every other workout. That's going to start with slant board squats. These are going to be 10 per side. You can do these directly to the slant board right on the floor, or you can raise it. That's going to make it a little bit easier to get that range of motion that we want to see. I want you to ensure that your butt stays squeezed on the back leg the whole way through the movement, getting maximum knee flexion. Once you've completed 10 reps per leg, you're going to move on to duck walks. I want you to get down into a full squat, and we're going to maintain as much depth as possible. I'm going to have you walk 10 yards forward, 10 yards backwards. I'm not too worried about whether or not you stay nice and braced because we're going to see a little bit of spinal flexion here. We want to have those hips stay in flexion though and really work those ankles so that we get a good depth position on our snatches today. Once we've completed that, we're going to move on to our inchworms. You're going to have 5 total inchworms. How we're going to do these is I want your hands to be flat on the ground, your feet to be flat on the ground. Your hands may be farther away from your feet if you're not as flexible through your hamstrings, or they might be a little bit closer if you have that flexibility. What do I want to ensure is that we maintain a good brace position from our shoulders to our hips. You're going to do a little bit of wobbling, but I want to ensure that we maintain a lot of pressure through our hands. For our mobility today, because we've done a lot of hip work earlier in the week, we're going to be doing hip centrations. And what this is going to do is you're going to work on getting that hip jammed all the way back into its socket. This isn't going to be a really aggressive mobility like some of our other stuff. It's just going to be a nice gentle squeeze. You're going to start on your hands and knees, internally rotate the hip, and you're just going to sit back to put a little bit of pressure into it. It should feel like pressure in the top back, like your femur is going to drive out of the back of your pelvis. If you need a little bit more, you can internally rotate the hip a little bit more, or you can lean across and get your knee in line with your belly button. 2 minutes of that per side. Once we've completed that, we're going to move on to rolling our glutes. You're going to grab a lacrosse ball. You can either put your feet up on a box or up on the wall. That's going to give you a little bit of a different pressure and stop you from going into too much extension if you have some lower back stuff going on. We're going to do 2 minutes per side, and you're just going to drop your knees across and let the lacrosse ball push all the way across. For our snatches today, for our bar-specific warm-up, we're going to have hang muscle snatches, top-down break snatches, and snatch balances. For the hang muscle snatch, we're going a little bit lower, so you're going to have a little bit more momentum than you have had in previous days. It's going to be 3 plus 3 plus 3 with just the bar for 2 rounds, and then adding 5 to 10 kilos just like our other days. For our actual snatch work, what we're going to be doing here is our top-down break snatches. Week 1 through 3 is going to be a top-down break snatch. These are going to go from 60% up to 70%. Now, this is a little bit lighter than our other snatches and cleans from earlier in the week, but these are requiring a little bit more back tension than some of the others. If we went as heavy, we may be sacrificing that position. To perform these correctly, you're going to bring the bar all the way up to your hip like you would for a hang. You're going to go all the way down to the floor, just kissing the bar gently to the floor and then driving immediately. I don't want to lose tension. I don't want to hit the floor and stop and reset up. I want to maintain tension all the way down. This is going to give me an opportunity to go all the way down and all the way back up. Same with our dip break snatches earlier in the week. I want you to meet the bar where we pull it to, meeting it, coming to an abrupt stop, and then squatting. For weeks 4 through 6, we're going to go from 65% up to 75%. These are just going to be top-down snatches, so we're not going to have a stop anymore. We're just going to squat all the way down to the bottom. For our accessories today, we've got flat foot snatch pulls. These are going to range for reps of 2 to 3, somewhere between 85 and 105% over the course of the cycle. We want to perform these exactly as we would a normal snatch, but our heels stay down when we extend. This ensures that we get full leg drive through the whole movement, and you're going to pull with your arms as hard as you can. Bar's not going to go very high. We would expect somewhere between belly button, maybe base of the rib cage. But I want to ensure that we're executing the pull off the floor through to extension the exact same way we would for a normal snatch. For our bodybuilding, it's not optional today, boys and girls. We're going to be doing these. We have neutral grip dumbbell bench and dips. These are going to be supersetted together. So we're going to get a little sick tricep pump going on. These are going to range somewhere between 6 to 10 reps for our neutral dumbbell bench. I want you to grab a fairly heavy set of dumbbells. Bench is going to be a normal flat bench. We're going to go a neutral grip so our thumbs are facing up like we're hitchhiking. And I want to maintain good tension through my whole body. Full lockout, full complete reps on all of these. For our dips, I want you to come to full shoulder extension. Here, I want to see that we're getting all the way down through a full range of motion. If you're not getting a full range of motion, I want to see that you're assisting these either on an assisted machine or using a band to help you get these done. If you're not able to get 6 completed without any assistance, add a band. For our final piece, this is going to be a giant set just like we've been doing throughout the week. These are going to be a seated row. This is dealer's choice. Don't care how you do it. You find a machine, you do it with some dumbbells, with some cables, however you want. I just want a seated row for our horizontal rowing movement. These are going to range somewhere between 50 reps for a giant set all the way up to 80 or 90.